don't know. It was just like a normal day of school. I was just trying to get home, get on the bus. And as soon as I get on the bus, my bus driver told me that I was supposed to be on the bus. And today she gonna make sure I'm gonna get off the bus, so don't even sit down. So once I sit down, she pulled up to the administrators. And the administrators get on the bus. And they automatically thought I was on the wrong bus. When she told them my name, they got on the bus and just told me to get off the bus. At first I refused. And then when I was refusing, they said if I don't get off the bus, all the students have to get off the bus. So once all the students got up off the bus, I got off the bus with the students. And then as soon as we all get off the bus, they didn't check nobody's names. They just told everybody to get back on the bus. As I get back on the bus, they told me to get off. And that's when they called the officers. When I sit down, the officers had came on the bus. They asked who was the student they was talking about. And the bus driver had pointed me out. They came back. They asked me to get off the bus. I had refused and told them this. Well, I was trying to tell them this is my bus, but the students was telling them that this is my correct bus. All the students on the bus was telling them this was my correct bus. Then, out of nowhere, one of the officers had said, if you don't get up and get off the bus or we're going to tase you. I said, I still refused to get off the bus. And that's when they tried to pull me and grab me. And when I got back up, when I had got back up, he had choked me, tried to choke me. Then he tased me. And when he tased me, I got up. I don't know, my adrenaline was just rushing. And I just know that he tried to tase me again while I was getting off the bus. And I jumped off the bus. And when I was off the bus, they put me in some handcuffs. And the officer who tased me had started slapping me while my hands was in the handcuffs. He was slapping me, then he tried to tase me again while my hands was in the handcuffs. And that's when the administrators came back outside and tried to break it up. But he was already in the midst of slapping me. And when they broke it up, he was still running towards me. He was still trying to attack me while my hands was in handcuffs. He was trying to push against the administrators who was holding him back every time he seen me. When I was in a room with the other officers after this situation, when he seen me, he tried to attack me again. They had to pull him back and pull him away to cool down. But when I was in the back room, they called the EMS. The EMS had checked me out and told them that I needed to go to Grady. And they said, no, I'm not going to Grady. I'm going to Rice Street. But the EMS told them, even if I go to Rice Street, I'm gonna still have to go to Grady first. So they volunteered, the officers volunteered to take me to Grady, and I did not go to Grady that whole day. I went straight to a police station, and they held me in the police station until they had gave me a ticket and sent me back home to my mother.
All right, so like I said, we want to put this in context. As you can see, that it was just not an incident that took place on a school bus. That's what we call, an officer is rendering what we call gratuitous force. Force is not necessary. We don't believe the force on the school bus was necessary.
The family of a Fulton County student who was tased by a school resource officer on the school bus now getting attorneys involved.
Lanier Johnson Hunt first told us about this incident last week after the driver thought he was on the wrong bus. The Atlanta News First, Yasmin Austin reports from Langston Hughes High School with the next steps.
The administration should have done more to check before having this encounter.
Attorneys are now speaking out for a Fulton County student who was tased by an officer on the school bus. They're focused on getting Lanier Johnson Hunt back into school from a 10-day suspension, as well as take any other measures to get him justice.
We're going to seek every avenue from administrative as well as all the way up to the United States District Courts and the federal courts.
Johnson Hunt's attorney stated that the 18-year-old was on the right bus and trying to get home to meet his younger brother when a school bus driver allegedly claimed he was not on the correct bus. That's when the Langston Hughes High School senior refused to get off the bus, and a school resource officer eventually tased him multiple times. The incident left him with burn marks on his throat and chest.
You tased him in the middle of his chest. He could have died. That's the only thing I think about.
His mother claimed today school officials gave her an incorrect narrative about what happened. Now attorneys will also look into if there have been any other incidents with that officer as the teenager recovers physically and mentally.
But all I know that I was feeling scared in the moment once the officers got on the bus. They got on the bus very aggressive and acting like they didn't want to solve a problem.
Fulton County Schools has told us the officer was removed from active duty and they are investigating further. We also reached out to them for a response to the mother's claims, but have not heard back. Johnson Hunt and his attorneys believe this could have all been handled differently.
This is a child attending school who is simply trying to get home.
In Fulton County.
News first, a high school student tased on the school bus by a school resource officer. He gives his account of what led up to that frightening encounter. Atlanta News first, Victor Williams is live outside Langston Hughes High School in Fairburn. So, Victor, how's that student doing tonight?
Well, Tracy, this student says that he is downright traumatized, and the video of him being tased really comes as a shocker to not only other students, but parents as well. We want to warn you before you see that video that it might be kind of hard to watch.
Anytime you see something like that, it's like really concerning, really daunting to see, especially like a student.
A video circulating on social media showing a student on a school bus being tased by a resource officer really has some wondering if this is the proper way to handle a teen.
Regardless of what the student did to make this officer get out of control, he really shouldn't have tased the student. Like, at the end of the day, it's still a child.
Student Lanier Johnson Hunt says it's literally the last thing he was expecting on the bus ride home, but says it all started because of a simple misunderstanding.
Basically, we got a new bus driver, right? And for some reason, she think I'm not supposed to ride the bus. I'm not supposed to ride that bus because I get on this bus stop every morning, every afternoon, every morning. I told him I wasn't getting off this bus. This is my bus, and it's the only bus there. So that's the last bus in the neighborhood.
After Lanier refused to leave,
bro told me, get off the bus or I'm going to tase you. I told him that ain't go phase me.
That's when the 18-year-old was tased. Unfortunately for Lanier, he says he was also expelled because of the incident. Now he's trying to figure out what happens next along with his parents.
My parents, she ain't try to automatically take my side, but she knows there's some wrong my part, but they most definitely wrong.
Now, we did make a few attempts to reach out to that school resource officer, but unfortunately, those attempts were unsuccessful. We did, however, reach out to the school district. They sent us the following statement. It reads, quote, "The incident is being taken seriously and is currently under review. The officer has been removed from active duty pending the outcome of this investigation." We're live in Fulton County tonight. Victor Williams, Atlanta News First.
Thursday, December 18th, 18-year-old Lanier Johnson Hunt was on a school bus ready to go home. And he got a new bus driver, and the bus driver wasn't really sure if Lanier needs to be on the bus. So she says, "Hey, you're on the wrong bus. You need to get off." So they went back and forth. And then so she called the administrator like, "Hey, this kid won't get off my bus." And then so the administrator tells everybody to get off the bus, and then they get on the bus, and then the administrator tells Lanier to get off the bus. So that's when the bus driver called the resource officer. So when the resource officer comes, he's telling him, "You're going to get off this effing bus." And Lanier told him, "I'm on the right bus. I ain't going nowhere." The kids were trying to defend Lanier. His name, the resource officer's name is Jimmy Dordan. And he was telling the other students to get the fuck back and all types of stuff, just being mean. So before the video was rolling, the Jimmy decided to start choking him for no apparent reason. All he had to do was just get him up out the seat and walk him off the bus. So him and Lanier are going back and forth. So he's telling Lanier, I'm gonna get you off this effing bus. So he start tasing Lanier. This is some crazy ass shit. Okay? So this is some crazy ass shit. Okay. So now uh after that incident, the officers, I think the police officers and paramedics were called. So the paramedics was like, hey man, this man looks really bad. We need to take him to the hospital. The police tell them, nah, we ain't taking him to the hospital. We're booking his ass. So he didn't receive medical attention until the next day. We don't know how long. It could have been the morning, it could have been the afternoon, or it could have been the evening time when he got medical attention. So they did a lot of injustice to this young man who was on the right bus. And all they had to do was just check the attendance sheet. But no, but no, they wanted to do harm to him. And so now Jimmy Darden, he's he's either on paid administrative leave or he's just not on active duty anymore. So they saying that he's no longer at the school. He's been cut off, and until they pending the investigation. So then, when he was handcuffed, Jimmy started slapping him in the face while he was handcuffed. Okay, he just kept slapping him. So one of the administrators ran over, tried to break it up. And then Jimmy wanted to tase him again. And that was really, really excessive. And then he said that when the administrator tried to like restrain him, it was like he wanted to run up on him. And that was too much. It was too much over what? Over him being right? The boy didn't lie. It, it wasn't like he was trying to get on the wrong bus and cause a disturbance. No, he needed to get home to his 6-year-old brother who had autism because their buses meet at the same time. Okay? So on this Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025, Lanier gets a civil rights attorney, Harry Daniels. And then, okay, and then Daniels show you the marks that were left on Lanier's neck and chest. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. Oh goodness, it looks so horrible. So Lanier was charged with resisting arrest, obstruction, disorderly conduct for being right. And he wasn't resisting or nothing. Okay, they just wanted to be very violent towards this young man. So Lanier's mother, Sharita Johnson Hunt, got a call that day on December 18th, got a call saying that your son is on the wrong bus. She got a wrong name and he was fighting officers. So how are you going to call the right mother but give her the wrong name? It doesn't make no sense. These people are bullshitting. Okay? So she goes on to say in the conference that they could have killed this young man because they tased him in the chest. They didn't do a simple search to show that he was on the right bus. Okay? And then so, man, this is crazy. So Lanier said he still feels the impact of that day to this day. And that is sad because that boy is traumatized. And he said, where I was tased, I could still feel it burning because that boy didn't get the right medical attention that he needed right then and there. And they suspended him for 10 days. For 10 days, they suspended him. For what? Like, it's just so crazy how a misunderstanding turns into all this. I hope Lanier gets his charges dropped and that he goes back to school because this is bullshit.
My kids will be having their phones at school, period. Your increased security isn't doing shit to protect the kids. Security is actually attacking the kids. Do you remember that one instance where there was a white kid that brought the gun to school and another kid actually disassembled and then got in trouble from school administrators? Yeah, no, fuck that. My kids are bringing a phone to school. Fuck your little bag for phones. I'm gonna help them make sure that they can sneak their phone in because that's where we're at.
So we just start tasing students and kicking them off of the bus before we verify if they on the right bus or not? We just start making accusations? Really? So I am positive you guys have seen the video footage from the young man that was on that doggone bus and they tased him 1,000,001 times to get him off the bus. I'm sure you've seen it by now. So on Thursday, December the 18th, 18-year-old Lanier Johnston Hunt was on the bus, Langston High School in Fulton County. Fulton County always doing something. He was dedicated to his little brother who is 6 years old who had autism. He just wanted to get to the house to get to his brother that he takes care of after school, okay? They ace boom coons. He just wanted to get to the house. He has been riding this route for 2 or 3 years, his mom said. All of a sudden, the bus driver is like, you be getting on this bus and you're not supposed to be getting on this bus and I'm gonna make sure you don't get on this bus again. And he's like, what? This is my bus. Like, what you mean this is my bus? I ride this bus. I'm supposed to be riding this bus. So the bus driver has officers come on the bus to take him off of the bus. Instead of anybody verifying if he was supposed to be on this doggone bus, they just start going off. The police officer tased him multiple times. He did say that he was punched and hit by that officer as well. The other students on the bus is like, this is his bus route. I'm not sure what y'all on, but this is his bus route. And this is my issue. People are like, oh, well, he should have just got up because the officer said they should have verified before they made accusations that were not accurate. Now, when the school administration talked to his mom, they told her that, oh, he was on the bus trying to fight the officer. All of this jazz. So she is in an uproar because that is her mindset, that her child was on this bus trying to fight the doggone police officer. That was not the case. Even the video shows that he was not attacking the officer. He was not giving physical pushback. And that is the story that they told her to take the narrative where they wanted to try and take. Now, they did do a press conference yesterday, and the attorney, Harry Daniels, is representing them. And they have not went the legal route, but they are just keeping their options open because clearly the job that should have been done correctly was not done correctly. Now, he has been suspended from school from this incident for 10 days, and he is a senior in high school. So they are wanting that suspension reversed so that he can get back to his education so he can finish out his doggone senior year. But that 10-day suspension will provide a hiccup in him finishing his senior year. I definitely think they should take their route to go the legal route because they did not verify the information before they made the accusation. Then they got overboard with the excessive force, and they have caused damage to this young man physically and mentally, and they are hindering him finishing out his senior year with this suspension that was unnecessary. If they would have did what they were supposed to do in the first place, which was make sure he was on the right bus before they start making accusations like they did.
So you mean to tell me a high school student on a bus going home, y'all mistakenly, which the bus driver pulls up to administrators, mistakenly assume that this boy is not on the right bus. Y'all don't do no hard facts checking. Okay, this is Lanier. He's supposed to be here. Y'all don't do none of that. This police immediately gets aggressive with this baby. Chokes the little boy, jacks the little boy up, do all this. They tussling back and forth or whatever about where he's supposed to be. But it ain't the fact of you handled the situation wrong. Why are you putting your hands on him, for one? For two, y'all should have did all y'all facts checking before this even went on. Then the incident happened where he jacking the little boy up, then he ends up threatening to tase him. Tases the little boy. After tasing the little boy, the nurse tell them, like, okay, he need to go. No. Even after tasing the little boy, the police officer still proceeds to try to run up on him like they into it, as if these two kids are like, this is another adult and y'all having a beef and you steady trying to attack him. So then they tell you, okay, y'all, we need to take them to the hospital. Y'all don't take the little boy to the hospital. Y'all take the little boy to the police station, where he sits there, then receives a ticket for something he didn't do and he never was wrong. And everybody go about their day. If that ain't racist, I don't know what it is. Then to proceed to say, oh, he was on the wrong bus. Did you fact check? Did you all go get a bus schedule to see where he was supposed to be? And he telling you, like, I live here. And if a kid been going to school all semester, you telling me they mistakenly got on the wrong bus. He fucking 17, 18 years old. Why the fuck would he mistakenly get on the wrong bus? I'm sure he been taking the bus the whole time he been in school, probably. It be so much inhumane shit going on. Police officers thinking they can do what the fuck they want. People walking around do what the fuck they want to do. When I tell you racism is a fucking thing and people need to take that shit more serious, this shit and Trump being in office make it worse because they think they can do what the fuck they want to do. I hope they sue the fucking boots off the school bus driver, the motherfucking police department. Everybody who mishandled that child needs to be dealt with. Point blank, period. You motherfuckers need to start being held accountable for the shit y'all do. Again, when they asked him to get off the bus, he should have gotten off the bus, but that's neither here nor there. He's telling you that I'm not on the wrong bus. So everybody's missing his point. Everybody want to fact check and be like, well, he should have just got off the bus. It doesn't matter. He's on the way home. Y'all intimidated me by stopping this bus, and all these people walking up to me like, he probably was scared. Like, what's going on? Why am I being pinpointed and saying I'm on the wrong bus? Like, you don't know what was going through his head at that moment. So at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. He was mishandled. And how many times do this gotta happen before we all stand up and be like, enough is a fucking enough? Y'all will stand up for Lil Pookie and Ray Ray and all them people who getting shot and shit like that. Have that same energy for these people dealing with these racist antics that's going on in the world today. Racism is literally taught, breeded, and maintained. It gotta stop. And justice for that little boy Lanier, for real.
Now look, after watching that video over and over again, I feel compelled to speak on this situation. An 18-year-old student riding the school bus with other students, his peers, at Langston Hughes High School was involved in an altercation. A school resource officer used a taser on him, and the most recent video shows what appears to be burn marks on his chest and his neck. Now, this incident went very viral and is currently under review. So I'm going to state my opinion, what I believe should happen, and it should be very simple. First and foremost, the bus driver should be fired and never allowed to work around children again because she escalated the situation. Instead of sitting down talking to the young man and finding out he was actually on the right bus, she immediately went to the administration and they took it way too far. Second, the school resource officer should lose his badge and his job. As an officer, your job is to de-escalate, especially with children. Watching that video, he did the exact opposite. You're the adult, not him. You should know better. Third, charges should be pressed. Accountability matters. Whether you're in uniform or not, excessive force is never okay. And lastly, that school up in Georgia needs to be sued for failing to protect this kid. Understand something. When a parent sends their child to school, safety is bare minimum expectations. Again, these are my opinions, but I would like to know what y'all think. If you've seen the video, what do you think should be the consequence and or conclusion of this situation? Let me know in the comments.